With Matlan, who just won the FCS Edison tournament. So Matt, can you tell us what you played and just give us a peek?
Yeah, I played Diva Hero Beat, so a lot of staples I will go through quickly. Stratos, 3 Alias, and 1 Ocean. Just 1 is enough. 2 Honest, of course. 3 Diva, 2 Gilman, and then I did play the Gores this time. I didn't know if I should play it or not, but he won me some games. He was dead sometimes, but probably worth it.
What do you feel about the 2 Gilmans? Many people drop it to 1.
You have to play them. I also played, I think this deck makes 5s better than anything, and there were multiple games where I used 2 androids at the same time, and it sucks to draw them, but being able to normal summon level 5 synchros, it's half the deck's strength, I think. So I think you have to play 3.
Okay.
I played also Standard, Rhoda, 2 E-Call, 1 Future Fusion, 3 Miracle, 3 Gemini Spark, and 1 MST. So the only thing some people play that I didn't play was Heavy Storm.
For what reasons?
I think the deck is doing best when you have 1 monster and 3 to 4 back row. And Heavy Storm, there's just so many times I felt like I need a card and I draw Heavy Storm, and that was like not the card I wanted right now. So you can side it if you want, but I just didn't even run it and I didn't miss it at all today.
Great. Also, MSC is a bit more versatile, of course.
Yeah, and instead of the heavy, I mained 1 Dust Tornado. So I had the same amount of spell trap destruction, but without the chance of conflicting with my own cards.
Great.
So I played 1 Starlight, 1 Solemn, 1 Dust Tornado, and then I played 3 Deep Prison, 2 Bottomless. I think like 3 feels too much sometimes, but until you've sided, you don't really know what else is better than a Deep Prison. So I side at least 1 out very often, but I think you have to start with 3. Mirror Force, Torrential, I mained the Compulse. I think it's really good. I think 1 you can play even main. It's a good side card, but even 1 main. And then I play 1 Legacy. It's good with Gores. You can, if you open Gores, you can set Legacy and bait people into attacking. It's also something that's just very easy to side out. And sometimes you get +1s against MSTs, Icarus, other Sparks.
Could you explain one thing about the Starlight Road, for example? It's a bit peculiar because many people have started to drop or has dropped it for quite some time. Some don't even side it. What's the reason for the maining of the Starlight Road?
I just have a general rule that to not play Starlight, you need to have 9 or less traps. And since I'm running, I think 16 traps today, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 16 traps plus other cards like Spark and MST that I set sometimes. It lets me more often play into Heavy Storm. People try it all the time. You have 3 back row, 4 back row, and they go turn 1, I hope he doesn't have it, and they Heavy Storm. And it won me many games today.
So in other words, it's more about appeasing to the locals that you play in the play style as well, right?
It's more like any deck running double-digit traps, I will run 1 Starlight Road.
Okay.
And then even better if I run into Black Wings or something that runs Icarus, Judgment Dragons. You can side it out if you really want, but I never once sided it out.
Okay.
And then I play Trap Dust Shoot, Call of the Haunted, and 2 Hero Blasts. So pretty standard other than Dust Tornado and Compulse. And I was happy with both.
Yes. So for the side deck is quite dependent. But do you have any special cards which aren't or non-generic cards?
I can show you the whole one. These are very standard. I played a locals and lost to Vayu Turbo, so decided I have to have a Nobleman's next time. 1 Super Poly never came up, but I did side it in against Frogs once just to see how it went. Didn't draw it. This was the MVP of the side deck. This won like at least 2, if not 3 rounds. I played Norlaris Turbo. I shut down a Blackwing deck. Yeah. Light Mirrors. You ran Lightsworn. That's the only time I used it. Never drew 1. Dust Tornado and 3 Rugs. I did on the bubble match play against Monarchs, so that was clutch.
Yes. So after your extra deck, of course, would you just mind telling us shortly about your matchups?
Yeah, sure. The extra deck's pretty standard, except for I think what I showed earlier, which is that I don't see people run 2 Catastor, 2 Android very often. I think this deck makes level 8s very rarely, so they don't need to run so many different level 8s. You can just run, I did Stardust and Colossal, and I also ran Mistworm, because if you have any level 4, then Diva Gilman will make 9. Didn't come up today, but I didn't miss any of the other level 8s either. So if you want another level 8, you cut Mistworm before you cut any of the 5s, in my opinion.
For Dark and Dragon, or what would you prefer?
I don't think you make Dark End very easily here, because it has to be with a Dark.
True, you don't play Plague Sorter.
I don't play Plague, and I don't have any level 6 synchros that are Dark, so I can't even go Diva in a Dark. So, and I don't play Brain Control.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I think, if anything, it would have to be Thought Ruler or Red Dragon, and that would be for Mistworm, if you want that.
Okay, great. So if you could kindly shortly take us through the matchups and what your thoughts were about the potential strengths or weaknesses of the deck against them.
Yeah, I think so round 1 was Norlaris Turbo, and I lost game 1 and won games 2 and 3, which happened a lot today. I think this deck, one of the best things about this deck is that it is completely unimpacted by light or shadow mirror, and being able to side these in. And this is another reason why I think Starlight is amazing, because once you have your floodgate up, you definitely want road next to it. So he did the Norlaris combo, and then game 2, I opened 4 traps, and one of them was shadow mirror. So I set 3, but not the mirror, and then I let him heavy me, which he did have it, and he heavied all 3, and then hit me with like a trooper or something, and then I summoned, or next turn I set the shadow mirror, and that was game. So that kind of shuts his deck down immediately. Round 2 was was that when I lost to you in Light Swords?
I think so, yeah.
And then round 3 I played the quick draw. It was the one with Plasma and Dandelion and one alias. I think Matt Smith's deck, something similar to Matt Smith's deck from the German tournament. And then round 4 I played Diva Hero, and I sided Rugs and Shadow Mirrors. I didn't see my Rugs, but also he got shut down by Shadow Mirror. And then round 5 was the Frog Monarch, where the pulling the Rugs came in clutch. And then in top 4 semis, I played something that was like a mix of Vayu Turbo and normal Blackwings. Again, so yeah, it was 3 matches where Shadow Mirror was very clutch. And then in the finals, I played X Sabers. Game 1, I started off super strong, like Catastor his Emmer's Blade, and then had a bunch of back row for the Catastor, and I got a bunch of card advantage, and then he played this level limit, and it stalled for like almost 20 minutes before I drew an out to it. But when I finally drew an out, I had built up too much card advantage for him. And then game 2, he comboed me easy, and then game 3, I had a Future Fusion on turn 1 that did manage to summon, and then I summoned Stratos, used the pop effect, popped his Mirror Force, and had exact lethal with Absolute Zero, Gilman, and Stratos. And then I want to switch.
Yeah, it's nice. So, I mean, for our locals, it's pretty good.
Yeah, amazing pricing for our locals. I'm really glad you guys are doing Edison. I will come back anytime it's Edison.
It's really good to hear. So, do you have any last words, any shout-outs, or anything you wanna add?
I'm Team Damage Step for Goat War League and Team Diamond Dogs for Edison War League. So shout out to people who've done a lot of playtesting with me online, and glad to play some Paper Yu-Gi-Oh now.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.